Mr. Pollock was also funny. The Pollock ICT
the
minister.
ICT minister before.
ICT minister memes were super funny.
Fuchka or shawarma?
I would definitely say the Czech fruit or the katal is my absolute favorite in Bangladesh.
আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে উনি যখন বাংলা বলছে তখন মোর সুইট লাগছে আর কি জিনিসটা।
Java is sort of the base and Java will never die, right?
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
this meme, Java is dead, right?
Yeah.
You know the meme, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
never dead. Do you have an edge and an ambition to make things pixel perfect? I went to Kustia a few months ago, went to Lalon's place. All the police guys are my friends in Dhaka.
হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান, ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ আড্ডার 19তম এপিসোডে আপনাদেরকে স্বাগতম। আজকে আমি আপনাদের সাথে আড্ডাবাজ হোস্ট হিসাবে আছি সুমিত সাহা। আপনারা সবাই আমাকে মেবি প্রথমবারের মতো হোস্ট হিসাবে দেখতে পাচ্ছেন এবং আজকে আমার সাথে যে গেস্ট আছেন তাকে আমরা একটু পরে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করে দিব, কিন্তু তার সেখানে যাওয়ার আগে আমি বলতে চাই যে আজকের পডকাস্টে আমরা আসলে কি দেখতে যাচ্ছি। আমরা মূলত গ্লোবাল টেকনোলজির সাথে বাংলাদেশি কালচারের একটা প্রপার ব্লেন্ড দেখতে যাচ্ছি। তো খুব বেশি দেরি না করে আমি আমাদের আজকের আড্ডার যিনি গেস্ট তাকে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করিয়ে দিচ্ছি। সো উই হ্যাভ জুলিয়ান ওয়েবার, হি ইজ দ্য সিইও অফ সেলিস, এবং আপনারা সকলেই সেলিসের নাম শুনে থাকবেন। সেলিস বাংলাদেশে দীর্ঘদিন ধরে একটা সফটওয়্যার কোম্পানি হিসেবে কাজ করে যাচ্ছে এবং বাংলাদেশে বসে 7টা বিভিন্ন দেশে এবং তারা কাজ করছে, যেমন সুইজারল্যান্ড, বাংলাদেশ, নেপাল, ভুটান, দুবাই, জার্মানি এবং ইউরোপের অনেকগুলো কান্ট্রিতে। এবং সেলিস এমন কিছু ডিজিটাল সলিউশন নিয়ে কাজ করে যেই সলিউশনগুলো আসলে প্রতিদিন লাখ লাখ ইউজাররা ব্যবহার করছে এবং এই কাজটি করা হচ্ছে সম্পূর্ণ বাংলাদেশে বসে। সো বুঝতেই পারছেন খুবই ইন্টারেস্টিং একটা আড্ডা হতে যাচ্ছে। সো উইদাউট এনি ফার্দার এডিউ, লেটস ওয়েলকাম আওয়ার গেস্ট টুডে, Julian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Sumit, in this wonderful studio. I mean, it's very impressive for me, and thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's an honor for me too. So, Julian, first of all, you are a Bangladeshi street food lover, what I have already heard. So, first question to you is, if you are a Bangladeshi street food, what would you be? Fuchka or shawarma?
Very hard to be to imagine to be a food, but very interesting. I think both of I like to have both of them for sure. They're very tasty.
Okay.
But I can think of more interesting Bangladeshi foods and specifically fruits. So if you ask me, what's an interesting fruit, I would definitely say the Czech fruit or the katal is my absolute favorite in Bangladesh, because it's extremely resourceful. It's unbelievable how this fruit, how many of these fruits are getting produced sort of on an annual basis. Each of the fruits has its own time when it's ripe, and then it's enormously resourceful. You can have the flesh, the seeds, and everything. So yeah. So I hope I didn't bring you off script.
Okay, so we can think of him as a pure Bangladeshi kind of person because he's living in Bangladesh since for the last 8 years or so.
I'm coming to Bangladesh since 15 years. It's actually my 15th year running. The first time I came in 2010. Living around 8 years, 8 to 10 years.
Okay, so you know Bangla a bit, right?
Olpo jani.
ওকে, সো আমরা মাঝে মাঝে বাংলা ইংরেজির মিক্স করতে পারি, সো আপনারা শুনবেন। এবং আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে উনি যখন বাংলা বলছে তখন মোর সুইট লাগছে আর কি জিনিসটা। সো জুলিয়ান, সো সেলিস ইজ আ সুইজারল্যান্ড বেসড কোম্পানি অ্যান্ড অপারেটিং ইন বাংলাদেশ, অ্যান্ড you are working for the last 15 years, you say. 8 years, you say.
Yeah.
So in Bangladesh, there is a saying that the founders always say that engineers, that we don't have very good engineers in Bangladesh. But as a founder, you came to Bangladesh and you are working with the Bangladeshi developers. So what's your take on that? Why Bangladesh? First question.
Yeah, I think the outset is definitely wrong. I mean, there's a lot of software companies here, international ones as well, who are who are shifting their development to their engineering to Bangladesh. What I think what you allude to is that the startup founders often get lost because I think it's because an engineer has a certain cost to it, right? Like if you just go to a random university and you take someone who studied computer science and then you think he's a good programmer, that's not going to work. That doesn't work anywhere in the world, right? So I think the locals have a lot of, desperatism, things that we, like when I come from the outside, I don't see that. And the reason I'm in Bangladesh is because of the engineers.
Great.
It's since 2008, I have been working with Bangladeshi software engineers. And it's not that I've just worked with Bangladeshis, I've worked across the world and I still work across the world. I found those amazing guys back then on today Upwork. Back then it was Elance, Odesk.
Okay.
I think very well known to all of you. So over time, what has happened even is like the quality of engineers has skyrocketed. So coming out of the universities, so I don't feel there's a problem. Like if you just look at the local market yourself, it's like if I just look at the Swiss market or the German market, I will also feel like there must be something better out there. But it's definitely not the case.
Absolutely, but one question definitely arises that Switzerland is mostly a very systematic country. Your trains run on time and everything is really perfect. But in Bangladesh, it's chaos all over. So how do you balance these cultural differences in your organization?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think the differential between these two environments is what generates tension and opportunity and,
Okay, so you are talking about the vibrance that it creates when you mix those cultural differences.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And you see, in Switzerland, the thing is, why are we so efficient? For a long time in Switzerland, we have been the country with the highest living costs. Very few people, very high living costs. So everything you do has to be 100% accurate in business. Otherwise, you're out of business, right? You cannot experiment. And that was one of the reasons, or that is one of the reasons why we are also operating here and why a lot of clients work with us. It's because we can experiment, we can build new things, try new things out without it immediately breaking our necks.
Right.
By having this chaotic, creative pool of engineers, which of course, at the end of the day, also come at a lower cost in a sense. But then again, that cost is also, the cost is not really salaries or things like that you pay. The cost is availability. Like, are you capable to build up a team of 50 engineers within 6 months?
Right.
Where can you do that? Like with strong engineers, it's really hard, right? And the places in which you can do them, the prices are always the same, or the salaries are the same. There's no difference between Bangladesh and India, or places in Eastern Europe when it comes to talented engineers. So it's just a much bigger pool that we have in Bangladesh, and that keeps coming out of the universities. Yeah.
Right.
I hope I didn't go too far off script or off, the question. And
okay, no, absolutely fine. And we get an interesting insight because people have a perception that foreign companies come to Bangladesh just to reduce cost. I think your answer clearly denotes that the Bangladeshi engineers are the key thing, and they are capable to handle millions of transactions, transactional data or big scale software, just like SELISE is doing through the Bangladeshi engineers. So which is a great inspiration for me as well, because I'm an educator. So I'm creating some programmers. So I think programmers have a great point to note. So my next question to you is, SELISE is handling numerous types of softwares at different scales, like big scale, medium scale, small scale. So, and you said before podcast, we had a discussion, you said that you love coding. So, but you are a business person. So is there any situation where you thought, you just think that, wow, how my team handled those insane amount of scale? Like, I have no idea. I never get into it. But when you see the software goes live and you see it's huge, then did it give you a feeling that I have no idea? How did you manage that? Did you ever find this type of situation in your career?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that happens every day to me. A straightforward answer.
Okay.
So I mean, and the thing is,
so you are not going into the micromanagement.
I do not do micromanagement unless I see that there is a problem, right? Or there is a challenge, or there is something new, right? When there's a new initiative, like for example, when we ventured into crypto about 5-6 years ago, and blockchain technology, I did very hands-on work in there myself. I coded before AI coding. And tried to figure out how things work. I worked with the developers. Can you give me this? Can you do this briefly? I need some uploader function on React, and like, can you do this in a certain way so that it does a certain thing. So when there's a problem, I go in organizationally, business-wise, and when there's no problem, and that's my preferred way of running things, then I really leave it up to the people, because I believe there's nothing more important than having decision rights and freedom as an employee of an organization to kind of charter your own way and solve problems.
Okay. So as a programmer, did you ever write single line of code inside your company, like building a prototype, or engaging with a knowledge session with teammates, like technical teammates? Do you code?
Definitely.
Do you still code?
Once in a while, yes. Okay. I mean, now it's like,
but your code never go into production.
I'm a super bad coder. I mean, you can. I was mentioning before. I mean, you can. It's interesting. I have this. I started at a very young age when the internet came up and all this, and I did a lot of web coding. I mean, starting with age 11, 12, around the 2000s, 1999. And there's still on Web Archive, like when Web Archive kind of came up, like from those early days, there's still some snapshots of my website. And I'm really proud now when I look at it and I say, oh, it's this little boy, made this kind of stuff. So, and then now going forward, I mean, there's nothing in production, although I must say I have, I do have full access to our GitHub, and I look at the repositories myself. I pull them down once in a while on the weekend, and go through it and try to do things. Try to figure out like how can like what would it mean if I would now have to build on top of this, and I think that's very important to sort of keep touch with what's going on to some degree, but then of course you also need to know your own limitations, and I wouldn't dare to code with any of my guys. I mean, there are a few moments, few examples where I did like went into like functions, algorithms, things like that. Okay. But I wouldn't dare to do it. I have also way too much attention deficit and myself to really go into it, to the level that our teams are in there.
Amazing. So I think micromanagement is the killer. So that's the point that we should take note, that as founders, we should avoid micromanagement, but we should have a clear picture of everything, what's happening inside my organization. Absolutely. So my next question
like
to you is...
eagle, there's that eagle example just came to my mind, right? You should be kind of like an eagle is capable to fly at a very high level and see how things move and do, but then he's also capable to really quickly go down to the ground and get
what we say
done.
That bird's eye view. That's the
bird's eye view, but then the ability to go down really fast. Right? Just like drop.
Right. Drop into it and solve the problem.
Yes. Yeah. 300 miles per hour straight down. Right?
Okay. So we have already talked about the cultural differences. Now let's come to some age differences, because that's a big challenge, because in my organization I faced that. So my question to you is, you are dealing with Bangladeshi developers, and at the same time you are from Switzerland, and you are working with the Switzerland devs as well. And the median age of Switzerland people is 44, around 44 I saw. And in Bangladesh, more than 65% people are under 35. So it's a kind of relatively young generation. So how do you manage those age differences? Because that's a huge barrier, I believe, inside the organization.
Yeah, brilliant question. Thank you for that. So we have, in SELISE, we actually have an age gap. I think our oldest colleague is 60 plus 61 or something like that.
Okay.
And the youngest is probably 21. Well, no, actually, we even have younger people in Switzerland. So we have to, there's a kind of an apprentice system in Switzerland where even younger people can join your organization. Now, that 60 plus SELISE family member works with the 26, 28-year-old Bangladeshi coders hand in hand on a daily basis. They have meetings and plannings and so on. The only way it works is through mutual respect.
Right.
That's the absolute key to any global collaboration. Right? So that everyone has to bring up the same level of respect towards the other person.
So right now, are you facing any challenges regarding that age differences or something?
No, I try to use the benefits of the differential. I mean, it's way more fun to work with young people. That's a fact, and everybody enjoys that. And the older we get, the more we enjoy it, because with young people they don't have so much baggage, burden with them, or they're not stuck in something. They are wild, and they can, solve problems, and when they do mistakes, they will do it again. They work on the weekend, they work at night. There is no problem. They run for something. They're hungry. So it's always huge enjoyment. And that's what you need to do. I'm telling this to every developer. Now is the time where I can look into that camera.
No problem at all.
So for all the youngsters coming out of university, there is nothing else that you should think of when it comes to working in any organization. You shouldn't think what's my work-life balance? What's my social life like and all of this? You should just think of it. I have these few years in my hand,
right?
And I just want to put everything into it. And the more you put into it, and I have done it myself, the more momentum you have when you come out of it, when you're in your 30s, when you're in your 40s. You're just, that momentum that you build as a youngster that carries you through your career.
Absolutely. So I think if we can summarize what he's trying to say, I correct me if I'm wrong, you enjoy your work a lot. And if you enjoy your work, if you are doing it right, then I think age is not a problem. Maybe you are
coming back to the age question. Yes, I think we touched on many points. Yes,
absolutely.
That's the thing. You enjoy the work, and age, gender, religion, race, geography, time zone, nothing matters.
Nothing matters. Absolutely. And it's an opportunity. So I have a data that Dhaka Startups has already raised $415 million in the last decade. But when I meet the founders over coffee, most of the time they say Bangladesh lack of young engineers, like a fresher. The freshers are not competent. Most of the time, the founders are frustrated. Sumit bhai, you are creating programmers, you are creating junior devs, but those are not up to the mark. So what's your take on that? Do you believe that?
The thing is, it's very hard as a startup to find strong people to work for you, because of what we just said before. With startups, it's even more challenging. Like everybody knows that startups at some point run out of money. And the young, strong programmers, they also know that there are, global, well-funded organizations that can basically, take them on and take care of them in a certain way. Nevertheless, it is possible. I mean, we work with startups in Bangladesh. We have a few investments as well in startups, and it's absolutely brilliant what they are building as well. Like at what speed, and with very young people. So you can never expect out of a fresher to know how to build your everything, because the software world is too complex. There are too many parts to it, right? Like now it's this new trend that, everybody thinks they can build something by using
AI,
all these online AI tools and all that, and then something comes out and say, well, it's very easy, it works. But really understanding what's happening in the back end, in the front end, what security concerns need to be taken into account, how do you interface with other applications, what protocols you're using to communicate. It's vast, right? And a fresher will not understand that. So you should tell the founder, well, if you think so, then maybe you don't know how to run the business, because that's why you have usually a tech person among the founders who then teach and train their junior resources and guide them and bring them to that goal. It's not easy, right?
Yeah. So as we are talking about culture, so definitely salary comes into the picture, because a developer or software engineer or whoever it is actually working for money at the end of the day. They want a good salary. They want a good life. So in Switzerland, I have seen that average salary of a software engineer is yearly 110K, 110K. And in Bangladesh, it's 7K to 15K, around that range. So why this difference? And do you believe that in this global world, geography should reduce the salaries in such a scale? Do you believe that?
Yep.
And also one more question comes into the picture, that that may be harsh to you, that SELISE is working from Bangladesh. Is this the only reason that the price is really relatively low than Switzerland in Dhaka?
Sure, let me answer that. So coming back what we touched upon a little bit earlier, we are here, the companies who are here for the availability of resources, the access to resources. There is there's a slight price difference or salary difference, maybe between Eastern Europe and South Asia, but we are operating in different South Asian countries, and we always have partners and freelancers in India throughout the time, and there is no difference, right? So for certain types of works, like for example, building product, right? Like building new components, software as a service solutions, big, frameworks and things like that. You need to be able to experiment, and that's why everyone is here. Like there is no, in business, the work always flows to the place where it makes most sense to do it. It's not like, okay, I will do the exact same thing in Switzerland like what I would do in Bangladesh. And if you do that, and if you have that limitation, you're automatically being put out of business. You're you're put at a disadvantage. And you have to see now that's from a business perspective. Now from an individual perspective, the Swiss or European mainland salaries are driven by cost of living, right? So it's crazy to hear that, but in Europe, if you have 1,000 euros as savings at the end of the month that are just savings that you can put away for your future, which is 12k euros a year, maybe 15 lakhs, you're considered in the absolute upper class already. Like that's where it starts, where they when the banks they assess you, there's like you're not ultra high net worth or high net worth, but you're in the top upper class, right? With 1,000 euro saving. And I can give you countless of Bangladeshis who live here who have more savings than that out of the software industry, working in the software business, right? Now, there are many other structural problems that lead to this. And there is also an implicit cost that you have for, operating far away with not having, enough access and context as to, to what you do. Nevertheless, your conclusion is right. Over time, there's salaries are ending up being the same all over the world for the same jobs, right? And you will then just find no one in Switzerland doing the type of development anyone does here because there is no market for it, because they would be paid so little and they would think, why would I need to put so much of my brain into this and then being paid so little? Now, on the other side, you do have a lot of high stakes jobs where these salaries, 100K, 150K, 180K, are justified because people work in extremely sensitive environments, and it comes with scale as well. If you serve millions and millions of users with a certain software and you cannot make a mistake, the salary doesn't matter anymore.
Absolutely. So I think the conclusion is if you are earning that amount in Switzerland, then you are not saving anything almost. But if you are earning half of that in Bangladesh, you are saving insane amount. So, absolutely. And I think that's an opportunity for Bangladesh. We should take it as an opportunity because I believe the freelance marketplace grown really exponentially grown over the years. And I think that's the major area where Indians work as well. Bangladeshi developers are also working. So I think it's an opportunity. Don't take it as a negative thing or something like that. So Julian, now let's come to some skill-based questions. Though this is actually a skill-based profession. So skills are actually primary. So my first question to you is, when you are looking for a programmer inside your organization, and if that programmer is a fresher, what do you expect from him? Like, a fresher might not have real world experiences. He might not have that idea of scaling a 100 million user website. But what do you actually look for inside those candidates, inside SELISE?
So the first thing we look for is definitely their capability to reason, right? Okay. Same thing like we look at in AI models, right? Reasoning. It's all about reasoning. So, human, will for couple of many years to come will have superior capabilities than AI. So are you capable to reason and think like an engineer? And the same applies, by the way, also for UX, for testers, for business analysts in SELISE. Reasoning capability is the number one skill that you need to have, not memorizing capability, not like talking fast capability. It's all about reasoning. And then number two, pixel perfection.
Right.
Like, do you have an edge and an ambition to make things pixel perfect, right? That perfectionism in you that drives you nuts, like that you test as a developer. We expect that you test your software yourself, right? And specifically as a young one coming into the company. So do you have that drive for perfection? And then the third skill, I would say, and I can give you more, but let's keep it at 3, that is super important, is, are you able to communicate those capabilities and the things that you're doing in general among your team members, with your clients, with others. And it doesn't mean you need to speak the Queen's English, right? It means, are you capable to communicate clearly, right? And you can still have some Bangla and this and that, but clear communication is
absolutely important.
Is number 3.
Absolutely. So
congratulations, you're hired.
Thank you. So I think I am an occasional YouTuber. So I also teach programmers, young programmers, and I always say these 3 points. The first one is reasoning, which I would definitely break down, like breaking down things and visualizing things beforehand. I think we can define reasoning like that. For example, if you are building a system, you have to visualize that upfront, that what I am going to build, and then you need to break down those things. If I am not wrong,
right.
Please correct me if I am wrong.
No, absolutely.
So I think that's the principal capacity that a software engineer should have or a developer should have. So, and the second one, you said that, and one thing that you mentioned, that team collaboration, communication, because in Bangladesh, I think most of the developers are not communicative. We are not talking about being a podcaster or being a YouTuber, not like that, but you need to communicate with your teammates. I think that's very important. So amazing. So now comes to a very tricky question. Maybe you might not be comfortable with that because it's not for you, but I think people are expecting that. That is about the stacks. You may have seen that programmers are obsessed with some particular tech stacks, like for example, PHP, Laravel in the enterprise level, .NET to some extent, and there's Java. But there are some other modern technologies as well, like Stack, Python, Golang, Rust. So inside SELISE, do you have any stack preferences? Like, for example, a project has come and you said that you have to do this in this stack. You have to do it in PHP. You have to do it in Laravel. Do you force that stack? And also, my second question to you is, as developers, should they marry a programming language, or they should consider the programming language as their girlfriend?
Fantastic question, and
I think my question would not create any controversy.
Yeah, it's a very fantastic question, very controversial, and something that I feel very strongly about. From the outset, I have always tried to be absolutely open towards all kinds of technologies within SELISE and all kinds of programming streams, because I believe that the only way to find the best solution is by having experts on many of those different solutions. And for example, the PHP thing you mentioned, yes, I mean, I understand. I mean, I myself did PHP in the past. It's a very easy to go language. You get a lot of templates, a lot of, online resources, a lot of things run really fast. And
most of the resources are free.
A lot of free resources, exactly. Nowadays, also in the other programming languages, I mean, everything becomes to a big degree now free and open source, but that's really a problem I'm fighting against for a long time. I mean, we do have definitely some leaning towards Microsoft technology stack that's more or less given by the client needs and the projects that we started with, but we are absolutely open. And the trash talk I hear about PHP is crazy. And I've always been hearing that, and it's totally false. Things have to be done right, and it's like if you take there are different. So we work with everything, right? Like we even work with Ruby in some areas, Ruby on Rails, and so there are certain frameworks that are more closed, more opinionated. They guide the developer what to do. Like in the front end, also you have Angular. It's much more guided, much more like you already have the framework. You already know you're in an enterprise environment. Then you have things like React, where you can also start very quickly and lose yourself. But it's always about are you doing it right? So you can do PHP right. And if you do PHP right, it's super, high performing,
Right.
and an amazing technology stack. So and they all have pros and cons. So we at SELISE, we have the framework called SELISE Blocks.
Right.
And SELISE Blocks is a polyglot, multi-language framework where we have, on the one side, guidelines that tell us how to develop code, how to work, how to develop projects, how to run the whole thing from requirements to code to, like your issue tracker, issue management, then also in operations, how to handle incidents and stuff like that. Then we have code blocks itself, which come from all kinds of languages, like reusable codes, like .NET NuGet packages, stuff like that, or full microservices, or NPM packages on the JavaScript libraries.
Right.
That some of them we have built ourselves, some we have taken from open source, maybe modified to fit the purpose. And then we also have a hosting environment for the whole thing.
Right.
So we're also offering a very attractive shared hosting environment for people to basically deploy their applications directly in there. And a lot of our clients are using that. And in SELISE Blocks, it's always been very, very important that we allow all kinds of technology to come in there. And nowadays you have tools like SonarQube, Sneak, and things like that test your code, regardless in what language they are. You need to configure it in the right way, but then they make sure that your code is of a certain quality. And then anyway, we live in this microservices world. Although I think it's a bit of an outdated terminology to speak of microservices. It's kind of like the new dinosaur. But still, in a microservices world, you have different, you can have different technologies. Everything talks about through REST or Kafka,
right.
Or whatnot. And so it's very important to to be very open. I think the developer themselves, to answer your second question, should learn one sort of home-based language where they use the language to learn all the concepts, everything that is there. And like the foundations of OOP and everything that comes with it, and then know that very solidly. And when you know that, it can be that you know it in Python, which is now becoming very popular again, right, with this whole AI orchestration and anything you can do with Python as a tool. So you can learn it in there, but you can also learn it in Java. I think Java is sort of the base, and Java will never die, right?
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
this meme, Java is dead, right?
Yeah.
You know the meme, I guess, right? It's never dead. It's just like solid. It's once built, and it has been built with so much thought, and you can't
and
do
highly
programming.
Highly predictable,
and it's the first sort of high-level programming language that was made, and everybody looked at Java, and then they built their other frameworks around it, their .NET and all that stuff, which became fantastic. And yeah, it's there to stay. So choose one, go extremely deep. And I'm the wrong guy to tell this. I'm a very shallow programmer. I'm just like quick and dirty, whatever it is. But I see how people develop. I've seen careers, developer careers, 20-year careers. I have seen in my career, I've watched people developing for 20 years things and developing and becoming, going into CTO level and all this. Pick one and then go everywhere.
Right. Pick one and go everywhere.
So
that's
it's
an
like
interesting thing.
You said wife and girlfriend, right? So like wife, you choose one wife, yes, and then it's too controversial to go.
Too controversial to go ahead, but we got the answer. We got the answer.
Right?
So that's a very important note to take, I think, because take one programming language that covers everything. I mean, a complete programming language where there is OOP, there is functional programming, there can be everything you can explore. And later, you just have to understand those concepts in your own language, like own home language. Like we have our mother tongue, like Bangla is my mother tongue. I think German is your mother tongue. So we are actually kind of translating to other languages, right? So in near future, you might have to work in some different programming languages. The syntax may vary, but the understanding that you got from that home programming language will remain the same. I think that's the key note to be taken. So
exactly.
I think
you can say in Bangla, you can say it's your grammar bari.
Yeah.
Right, that's your main language, and then you have your apartment in Dhaka, and then maybe you shift it maybe to Chittagong, or you go to overseas. You live overseas for studies, but your grammar bar is always the same.
The grammar bar is always the same. Right, absolutely. So
this is more correct. Maybe the other part you have to cut from the.
Okay, fine.
Otherwise, some mean person will crop it out, and then they will say
so definitely we can take that as an analogy. So don't take it controversial. That's just an example that just to make fun. So I think we can take this like this, that I have a wife, but before that I had some girlfriends, right? So in young ages we have different girlfriends, and later we stick to one person for manageability, for stability, for predictability. So I think in real coding world, things work like this. Like if you master a programming language, like if you are master in PHP, if you are master in Java, then that's your wife. That's fine.
Or your husband.
Or your husband, definitely. So yes, we might have women viewers as well. So I think you got the answer. That's a brilliant insight. And we also went into a very technical type of things. Already seriousness has already come. So I will try to relax you. Do you enjoy coding fights? Like for example, in Bangladesh, communities are divided. Like I am in PHP community. You have already seen that. And there is a JavaScript community. These two elephants always fight together. So if you want to watch a Boxing Day match between PHP and nodejs, who do you support? Or who will win? What do you think? Is the venue important? Where the game is happening?
I think. Okay, let me think of these two. So, let's say we have a boxing match of 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Right. And we're talking about JavaScript on the back end and PHP.
So I think the venue is very important. Where you are playing.
Yeah.
So, is it your home ground or is it your?
I mean, where we are boxing. So we are boxing in. We're boxing in. Well, we cannot box in banking and finance.
No,
they will already like
so
if we're boxing in the if we're boxing in the fintech industry, they will it will be like a beginner's fight.
Right.
But if we're boxing in the sort of web fast moving web application world,
real time applications.
I think Node.js will be leading for the first 5 rounds, but then PHP will come out as a winner.
Okay.
After the 12th round, as a winner based on points.
Okay. So PHP will be the dark horse.
No KO. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. So I think what he's trying to say that if you want to.
And I can give you the reason. So
definitely.
Because I think PHP is still more purpose built for this kind of like web applications, whereas like with a, you know, like with a traditional database backend, and it has a lot of organized tools. There's a lot of big open source community. JavaScript, of course, extremely big, and it comes from the web, but it comes from the front end. Right. And then at some point, JavaScript also became object oriented, and you know, like with TypeScript and all this. So, and then it went into the server side to serve some things with, and so it's
so
not there
is
yet.
like a hustler, like
It's a hustler, exactly. So that
exactly.
I think Node.js against PHP, just because of age and everything, will look. I mean, PHP is also a new version of Perl, right?
Right.
But it's hard. If you take another pair, I can give you a better answer.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And I can give you one more example, that PHP ecosystem has a framework like Laravel, which is a complete package. But why JavaScript doesn't have that? Why Node.js doesn't have that? Because we have a framework called Express.js, which is extremely popular, but that is not a complete framework. This is just a micro framework. It just deals with request and response. So that's what he was pointing towards, that Node.js wasn't built for to serve those kind of purposes that PHP solves. And at the same time, PHP doesn't solve all the problems that Node.js solves. So I think we might have to combine those two technologies sometimes, because for the microservices, if you have for example, if you have a client-facing chat application, then you have too many requests to handle, and you are dealing with small size requests. You are just passing the chat messages, and I think definitely Node.js will perform better. But if you want a backend system, like for example, you have very good, strong database backend, so in that case, I think PHP will work. So fine, we have already talked about culture. We have talked about skills. We have talked about a lot of things like age differences. We made some fun. Now, tell me one single incident when, as a founder of a software company, you thought that I should have done something else. Have you ever faced this type of situation in your entire career?
Yeah, I definitely. I think we all face that. And when you are sort of a founder or you run a business, you're like, and you see that you have employees coming and going, and they can just leave and they go to another job. But as a founder and owner and CEO, you're stuck, right? You're married to your company in that sense for good. And you have as any professional, I would say, you have those anxiety moments where you think like, everything is going
absolutely
pear-shaped. And then specifically if you are running an organization, and we have been talking for a while now, and after that I will look at my phone and I will have like, absolutely, I don't know how many emails, 80, 100, 120. And there will be some, and all the bad ones, right? There will a lot. Usually you have to absorb the bad ones, right? The shock moments, the dissatisfied clients, the trouble that happens somewhere. And you have these moments, and we had sometimes also things where, things go so wrong that you just have to laugh, right? Absolutely. Like, for example, we sign NDAs with sometimes with fines, right? Fine amounts of like $200,000 and stuff like that, right? And one was, I remember, so I give you that example. So that was about 7-8 years ago, 10 years ago, so I can talk about it. So we
definitely would love to.
We have.
Did you have to pay?
Yeah, so I could manage it, but
okay.
so we had.
So you had to sign
let me
contract.
tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. So this is a product launch, right?
Okay.
So it's a product like it's a real product that has a big brand and everything. It's like an Apple iPhone, but definitely in a smaller scale, but still billions of dollars worth of a market. A German company, and before the launch, it's like with a car as well. When you launch a new car model, you cannot share anything about it. Like, but you have to work towards the launch. So you need to prepare the websites, the e-commerce stores, the ads, the user journeys, the portal, for that day when it's launched, and it will be switched on, and then the whole world will see it, and everybody will be like, wow, this is the new product, and it cannot leak, right? So you always have leaks, like this iPhone leaks, Apple, Android leaks, Google phone leaks. So yeah, and we signed an NDA with a lot of money behind it, and we worked for 6 months, and about 2 weeks prior to that, among many other things, one staging URL got indexed by Google.
Oh my God.
Right? And then these companies, they have like their legal teams who observe this, right? Who are like watching continuously, is there any leak or anything like that? And then I just happened to be at the office near the office when I got that email. And I was just running up to the developers, and I was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
And we could manage it, and the client is still our client, and it's a very happy client.
I can understand, because I am also a small founder, so I also faced that similar challenge once in my life, and I'll never ever forget that incident. And that time I had to think that I should not be here because it's too much pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So great insight. So as founders, I would definitely take some questions from you, that if a programmer, like a tech guy, he's very good at programming, he knows how to make products. If he wants to be an entrepreneur, like he wants to, because as programmers, it's very easy for us to start the business, because starting is the biggest problem in all other traditional businesses.
True.
But in software engineering or in tech world, it's very easy to start. Yeah. And people get overwhelmed most of the time because they think, oh, it's very easy to make business, so I will do business. But after running the company for 6 months, he or she starts to realize the real things. So when you started this company, right from start, what was your primary goal? Was business behind your mind, or it just came sudden? Like, I want to be a businessman. Did you start thinking like that, or it just happened?
Okay, so I saw this big differential in the IT world with the onshore, on-site, high-paid, very expensive, very stagnant type of businesses, and those big outsourcers coming from India mainly, right? India and Eastern Europe, and I saw that, and I learned about Bangladesh while I was already doing projects. So for me, it was really like a gradual thing. So I did like, during my studies, I had side hustles, side income throughout all the time. So I always worked on something, and while I was doing this, I was exposed to this, right? And I really believed in this capability to bring untapped markets to the fore. Right. And if you look at the SELISE, we're only doing untapped markets in terms of resources. Right. So in Eastern Europe with Kosovo, with Bhutan here in South Asia, Nepal, Dubai. Starting now. Dubai is a front market. That's not an untouched market. That's a hyper.
But if we,
that's like
if we
Switzerland.
Look back, 8 years back,
so I saw. Yeah, you could say that 8 years back it wasn't there yet. That's for sure. There's a little bit of foresight in there, but like really, if you look at it objectively from a like, why would you go to Bangladesh when you can go to India and you have everything there, right? Like
Bangladesh is untapped.
And so we do these untapped markets, and we want to become the employer of choice.
Right.
That's our strategy. We be the employer of choice and really create opportunities for these countries to play in the Champions League, right? That's it. And they all are, like all our people in Bhutan, in all the countries, they all play in the Champions League of software engineering. And I mean, IT delivery as a whole, right? And so I had this vision, and then I started continuously, like, doing more and more, getting clients and all this. And then it's like, I mean, there are other examples here as well in Bangladesh. It's exactly what you're saying. So it's very easy to get started because you can always sell yourself as a coder or programmer, doing something. You can always, and then you need to find some friends and some people who work with you. That's the easiest. And then oftentimes, they all become partners and all that. And then after 1 year, everyone starts fighting and it breaks up and the business stops. So it's very, very difficult to build a business. So like organically, right? And the real businesses are the ones that are built organically. There are a lot of businesses that are built with some massive investment that is coming in through some big international investors who believe like now, like we come to Bangladesh and we change everything and build this thing and we put in tens of millions of dollars. Or there's a lot of government funding as well, like government-driven projects. The government supports something, international governments join together and they give funds and they make donations and they say like, we built some industry or something like that. This never works. It has never worked because a business to be successful needs to grow organically and go through these millions and millions of micro decisions that you take that shape you as an organization. And the organization is learning continuously and is building up tacit knowledge, like implicit knowledge that you don't have. So, and as a founder, you have to play between being active and serving your clients and your stakeholders and your employees, but then also seeing that organization develop. And that's super hard. And that requires a whole different set of literature and instincts and insights that you need to consume beyond just technology to sort of be in it. And I think you are also a great example of that. Shumi.
So as a programmer
you have built a huge organization and hats off to that.
As we are talking about marketing, it's very important, It may be, we may not like it because as programmers, marketing is definitely way too outside our scope, but definitely it's very important. You know that already. So you may be a very good programmer. You may build a very beautiful software company, well structured, everything is fine, but you are not getting work. So what's your key formula to actually market software projects to the global world? Do you have any formula or a short answer for that?
I would love to have one.
Okay, that's a beautiful answer because it's the hardest thing. I believe it's the hardest thing, and definitely it's refraining us from making lots of software companies in the world. So we are not making lots of software companies. We are actually, some of them are shining, but I have seen lots of companies, small companies, that true potential. They have good engineers, but they are not scaling because they are not getting work, because they are not explaining their capacity, they are not explaining or communicating properly to the market. We already discussed a lot of things. We have talked about culture, we have talked about skills, we have talked about challenges and everything. Now, as founders, and I am also a founder, so our audiences, there are some mix up because some founders might look for founder related questions. So that's why I'm asking you about the founder challenges that you faced. The first thing that when I started my company, my major challenge was exposure. Like, for example, I could not connect to the clients as I was trying to. So when you started SELISE, how did you get your first customers? Because that's very challenging, because in software business, you get word of mouth and organic marketing automatically. But the starting problem is a very challenging thing. How did you solve that challenging problem?
Yeah, there's kind of a rule to it, I think. I don't know if it's true, but I believe every person has one customer that they can introduce you to or are very close to. And you yourself also have one. Somewhere in your family, in your school, university. And I think it's important to find this business first, or this first client like this. And the client will only become your client specifically when you have nothing, if they trust you, right? So, and that's not just for founders, that's for anyone. Your most important currency to build in your career is trust.
Right.
And it's also the easiest to destroy.
Absolutely.
Right? So you want to carry a big amount of trust with you as an individual, as a professional. When you're going to school, when you study and so on, and trust means people know that if they ask something from you, you either say no, and if you say yes, it means yes, and you deliver, right? And I think out of that you can spin off a business,
right?
And then you have to go client by client, and your best salesperson is your quality.
True.
And your ability to be there with your client until the end.
Right.
Right. The worst thing that you can do is like these one-off sales where you try to make money and then go to the next one, try to make money again. That can really destroy your business. So in SELISE, we have also this value where we say it's perseverance. That means we as an organization, we're extremely long-term focused on the long term with everything that we do, and also as individuals, right? And so I think it all builds out of that trust. So for the founders, that's what I can say. Like, trust is your currency.
But not many founders are blessed with funding right from start. So as you said, the starting period, which demands a lot of dedication, lot of effort, lot of challenges, and a lot of restrictions as well. So at that phase, there might have some time might come that I am trying for the last 1 year, and still my runway is almost at the end. This is a very common problem that founders face, and most of the founders are actually destroyed from that stage. So from your perspective, what should be the strategy to sustain for a long time at the start? That's the question that I want to ask you.
Yeah. So if you are really up for it and you want to go through this journey, you have to put away all your expectations towards yourself, towards any material achievement whatsoever. You have to be able to put that away, and you have to know that you have this endurance.
Right.
I have seen people, they have, for 5-6 years, they have like scratched on the surface of bankruptcy, right? They have problems with their families, with everything. And then they came out in a big way after some time. And then there are others who will not succeed, right? Where there is like one little thing missing. So you need to be willing to take that, and you need to know that you have endurance, perseverance, and that will take you forward, because you already, as a founder, everyone has one big investor, and that's yourself, right? If you are smart, you would earn a salary anywhere,
Absolutely.
right? You can pay your own salary, like meaning you just live at subsistence level, right? You live in your college college campus, in a shared bedroom or something like this. Whatever it is, you have to bring your cost of living so low that you can basically work with that difference in what you would technically earn if you were, doing a job, and that's your first funding. So everyone has a little bit of that, right? And then that capital, has to be enough to get to the next stage of capital, which can come from clients when you're in a service business, software business, or something like this, and you can make your own software, or can then come from investors, right? And there's always an investor there are always investors around. Like, you just have to, be in the game. If you have a good idea or with some capabilities to deliver, you will find someone who will give you your first 2 lakhs.
Absolutely.
Right?
So networking is very important.
And then later it will be 50 lakhs, and then it will be 1 crore, right? So you can, you need to, and even, as a founder, when the business is bigger, you still need to do all of these things, right? Like, you need to make sure that the operating costs of your business, your overheads, is basically your biggest investment into your growth, right? If you think of the business like, okay, I'm constantly like, I'm now doing good, so now I'm taking out a lot of money and doing a lot of other things with it, you will stop growing. The business will stop functioning. Absolutely. So I think it's a very it's like running a tough marathon. Right. Like it's starting and running a business.
So the summary is, business is tough, and founding a company is not so easy, and the starting problem is a big problem there. And another problem that I would definitely want to point to, which I faced personally, because I founded a software company first. Later, I was not getting work. Then I saw that my problem was networking. I was an engineer, computer science grad, and I was not getting clients because I am not a good salesman. So later, I was looking for an opportunity to get connected to the upper management of the company, because the lower management or the IT team was not giving me that exposure that I was asking for. So that's why, to get that path straight to the CEO or to the marketing head or to the sales head, I choose the parts of marketing. So, and it worked. Maybe I was enough creative to handle those things, but definitely it worked. So we might, through the hustling stage, we might have to do that. But one challenge I faced is about resources, because the first client, I occupied my first client very early, but later, to sustain that client and scale it, I had to take help from other resources as well. I need to recruit some more people into my organization. And then I figured out that the guardians are not willingly sending their boys and girls to my organization, because it's a relatively new organization. It has nothing, not that goodwill or something like that. So that's a major challenge in Bangladesh we have. So you also faced, might be, from the start. How did you overcome that challenge? How did you inspire new people to come into your organization? Because people are the key things in software business.
Absolutely. And that's you're always playing on multiple markets. One is your buying side of the business, the people who spend money on your services. And the other one is your purchasing side, which is your first contractors, freelancers, and then employees. I mean, I always, throughout the history of SELISE up until today, we always had freelance talent helping us out, or partners, for very specific skills or things to have. And then once you have a group of people working with you, it's again the same thing. You have to build trust as well as an organization. Like, for example, you have to make sure that you pay salaries on time throughout good and bad times.
Right.
You have to be transparent, and you have to tell them. People love to understand when things go wrong and when things go right. Like we say, it's like everyone needs to understand the value that they add to the organization. Like their individual contribution versus what they're getting paid, what's the difference, right? The gap is the value that you add. And if you understand that, you're in a transparent, nice environment, and you enjoy being there, and you will stay there, right? And then there comes point in times where that value becomes negative, and the individuals also know that, right? And then oftentimes they leave, right? or they leave by themselves because they understand I actually cannot add this value anymore, and I see it. It's been now going for a couple of months. Like I can't handle these things, and I don't feel home here anymore, and all this, and then they leave, right? So if you have this kind of indication of value towards everyone, you also have much less problems with having to let go of people or like hiring new ones. And then everyone also talks about it in the market, right? So they say they have like their friends and everyone, and you get a reputation,
right?
And I think that's what you live off from then, the reputation.
Absolutely. So building reputation is the key. Now comes to the second part. Now you have sorted out all the initial problems. Now you are going through a very good time. Suddenly you find a new challenge, that is the retentionship problem, the employee retentionship problem. Because as programmers are exposed to global world in a very just online, they can connect to any companies, and the companies are reaching through LinkedIn. Good developers have a very good GitHub profile, has some public exposure. He's sharing his knowledges and everything, and they are immediately exposed to global tech giants and everything, and they are hunting those people from you. You are already a paymaster. You are giving a good amount of salary relative to where they're living, but still you cannot retain them. So what's the formula? Do you have any formula that can help founders figure it out?
Yes. So I think it boils down to that value creation and measurement.
And the value creation you are talking about, is that only money? Or culture and everything, other things, care, everything matters?
Money is just, like, you can express everything in money at some point. Like you can express everything in money subjectively. Like from the employer, you can, from employer side, you can express how much does it cost you to have a resource in your team. You can say, like, what's the total cost to the company, right? Including indirect costs, right? Because maybe there are some people that are not they need a lot of overheads, or some people cause friction, right? The friction has a cost. As an individual, you can also calculate for yourself, like, how much am I getting? How much am I putting in? Is what I'm getting for me more than what I'm putting in? Otherwise, I wouldn't do the work, right? I always use this example, and the people who know me, they find it very boring because I always repeat it. If I buy a coconut from you for 100 taka,
right?
I give you 100 taka and you give me this coconut, narikel. And for you, what's it worth? Right? You just received 100 taka.
Right.
So the coconut for you is worth less than the 100 taka, right? There's a difference. Otherwise, you would not even engage with it.
Right.
For me, the coconut is worth more than the 100 taka, right? There's a difference again. And so value is created just by this trade between us. The same thing happens with someone working for an organization, right? And that difference retains people with you. Like if they trust you, if they love the environment and all of that, that is something they get, right? And that has a value to them. That's like part of the salary. And that might be very different for different people. So what doesn't work is when you, like, certain things, and now I'm giving away a few really, really crucial principles. It's like when you're saying, okay, as a company, I'm going to give every Thursday, I'm throwing a big party for all the employees, and I give them a lot of food and a lot of things. That event itself, for some, has huge value, right? More than you pay. For others, it has no value. They don't care. They don't want to be there. They're introverts. They don't want to go to these parties, right? So the moment you start to treat employees like cogwheels and not like individuals, you are going to immediately pay more, have less retention, and like you will have a lot of involuntary retention.
Right.
And for us, it's like it hurts whenever we lose someone. Of course, it hurts the organization. But then again, and we do we depending on what case it is, we sometimes make offers, we negotiate. But most of the times we say it's fine. Like there's a market out there, and obviously we cannot provide more. And there also must be a learning effect. We have a lot of freshers that then work for us, and they're with us for 5-6 years. And then it's always greener on the other side, right? We have a lot of people returning as well. You have that too with Analyzen. So people need to experience how it is out there, right? To really value their home ground, and that happens so often.
Right.
And it's it's how you have to manage. Now, as an organization, the next question would be, how do you manage that?
Right.
And the only way to manage that is by having a very decentral organization where people have decision rights on the level of teams.
Exactly.
Right? So that the team leaders and all of this, they can take decisions and understand their employees. Now that's a hard thing to do that organizationally, to pass that down and make sure it's not being abused and all that. And everyone's struggling with this, but I think that's how you then do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I can connect to what you were talking. I was just going behind, and I was just connecting with Analyzen as well. So the similar thing happened. A lot of employees, I was giving them a lot of money, but suddenly they quit. They went to an organization, and for example, I was paying them, for example, 50,000 taka, and one fine morning, some organization picked him up and said, I will pay you 1.5 lakh taka. So it's a 200% or more than 300% growth to his career. And later, after 1 year, he came back to Analyzen and he said, I want to join again. So I asked why. So then he said that I was not getting that attention what I was getting at Analyzen. So giving your employees or teammates that level of attention, that level of responsibility or ownership, I think that's the key, maybe that you pointed out. And my next question to you from this angle, that when you get such kind of offers, like for example, 300% growth or 200% growth to your career, you are getting double salary to an organization. Should a person consider that and think in such a way that if I currently I am 26 years of age, I am getting 50,000 salary, and suddenly tomorrow I will get 2 lakhs taka salary. So it's an immature growth to my career. And if I am not capable to that level, if that company suddenly I have to quit my job and then I come back to that company or some other company, that company might not take me at 2 lakhs taka salary. So it's a destroy for his career. So
yeah, absolutely. So
what's your advice on that?
So like my advice is, so if you are less than 30 years of age, you should only consider, and I say this wholeheartedly, your work and what you get out of it and how you grow with it. And you should not think of the money unless you really need it, right? Like there are some cases where people have loans and things like that, and they really need to get this money. If you are older than 30, and let's say you're a software engineer, you're a mid-level senior software engineer or something, you make 150,000 or something like that on a monthly basis. Then someone comes and says, I pay you 3 lakhs, double. Then of course you should take it, right? Because unless the company that you're working for is also capable to pay that amount to you. But if they're not, it means that you're not adding enough value to that company, and there is potentially someone out there where your skill set, your capabilities and everything adds so much more value that you can double and get for the international audience an equivalent to $3,000 a month, right?
So that means evaluating myself, that whether I am capable to take that or consume that salary or not. That should be important.
Exactly, right? So and because regardless what profession you do, you're in your early ages, you're building momentum that will carry you later. Right? And you want to be of value. You don't want to be. We also have this saying: you don't want to be a success. You want to be of value. As long as you're of value, everybody comes to you, right? And that's all the founders. For you as well. Like everyone will always say that. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to be somehow useful, right? People that
exactly.
People want to use your organization, use you as an individual, and then it's a no-brainer, right? And that ability to be useful, you want to maximize in your 20s.
Absolutely. So I think if I put an analogy here, like if you ride a lift and go from ground floor to 10th floor in one go, and later the lift gets turned, and then you are dropped, and then you are not capable to rise again. So I think at the start of career, I believe that stairs should be taken. You should use the stairs, and later you can take the lift as well. So thank you. Thanks, a very good insight, and I'm truly connected to it because I have faced these challenges. So
you must have, yeah.
So Julian, it's an amazing discussion, and I think people who are the audience who will see this episode will definitely get benefit out of it. So now we have a rapid fire round for you. So it's we have talked with some serious discussion. We had lots of serious discussion. We touched a lot of points. Now it's a very quick round where I will ask you one question, and without thinking too much, you have to just throw your answer.
Okay.
Whatever comes to your mind, you will just throw your answers.
Okay.
So start. First, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Childhood hero?
Michael Schumacher.
Wow. Matched.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
I was a big fan of him. Big fan of him.
Okay.
Favorite coding code?
The best code is no code. No code at all.
True. React or Angular?
React.
Favorite Bangla meme? By the way, do you watch Bangla memes?
Once in a while. Okay. And they're super funny. And there were a lot of funny ones during the July Revolution.
Yeah.
Super funny, but I go back a few years more, and I haven't found this anymore. Actually, I'm actually looking for it. You remember when Burger King opened in Bangladesh?
Yeah.
You remember the video?
Yeah, I remember.
I just went to Burger King.
In fact, Analyzen quoted for that. The agency was Analyzen.
There was another agency doing this.
No, my agency was not doing it. I quoted for that project, but I couldn't.
But it's not. I don't mean the official one. There was this meme, right, where the guy is singing.
Oh, okay. The online one, the digital one. Okay.
Yeah. There's an online video. There's an online video where they're celebrating that they went to Burger King, right? And that is hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
Right. True. Great. So,
but Mr. Pollock was also funny. The Pollock ICT minister.
ICT minister before.
ICT minister memes were super funny.
You met him?
The Eklaka. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sundarbans or Cox's Bazar?
Cox's Bazar.
Okay, so you are into C, more of a C person. You like C?
Not really.
Okay.
But I like Cox's Bazar.
Okay. Okay. Swiss chocolate or Bangladeshi mishti?
Yeah, both are beautiful, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry to say, but Swiss chocolate.
Swiss chocolate. Okay. No problem at all. So, favorite Bangla word?
Shesh.
Finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's short and concise.
I thought you will say bhalobashi.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The word,
so your childhood
word shesh is the most amazing word.
Oh, you are relaxed.
It's shesh. It's just
shesh.
like, it means finish. It sounds like finish.
Okay.
And it's,
Okay. Childhood nickname.
And it's the one I use the most.
Okay.
childhood nickname.
Your
Like
nickname.
My nickname, like Julie. Like,
Julie.
but it's more like in German. They say Juli. Just an abbreviation.
Yuli, okay.
Yeah.
Gym or
that's-
yoga?
Gym,
You manage time to do gym regularly?
2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you are not into the bodybuilding area. You are just doing the cardio, I believe.
No, I just want to like make sure that I stay
Keep
alive.
your body running.
Yeah.
Okay. Dhaka traffic exciting or exhausting? That's a very big problem in Dhaka.
Okay, so exhausting, but and absolutely terrible. But there's a and I'm very engaged about traffic, like what could be done, and I'm thinking a lot about it. I've put in massive amount of thoughts, and I even try to do some campaigns and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think I found a way to hack Bangladesh traffic, city traffic, and I can move substantially, significantly faster than anyone in Dhaka, through Dhaka, in high traffic times.
How?
So I have an electric scooty,
Okay.
which I can carry, and which goes up to 35 kilometers an hour, and I can go on the sidewalk, I can go on the main road, I can cross any crossing at any time, and I'm doing this since 7 years.
Amazing.
And I do it across Dhaka, everywhere. A lot of people see me. I always get stuff on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook posts with like, who's this strange,
Okay.
appearance.
So interesting point to be noted. That is,
and
people might discover you at street anytime.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And the thing is, and all the police guys are my friends in Dhaka,
Okay.
like in the street, like they all. So because they see me and they wonder, okay, who's the? Obviously, because I don't look very Bangladeshi, they kind of try to interact and all this.
Right.
A lot of phone numbers and so.
So life will not be easy for us because we look.
No, I think they appreciate. I saw a few others. Like once in a while, I see another one on such a scooty, but very, very rare. Very rare.
True.
So yeah.
Messi or Ronaldo? I mean the Portuguese Ronaldo, not
Yeah. I get
main
it.
Ronaldo.
Okay, so what's the cricketer name? Shakib Al Hassan.
Shakib Al Hassan. Yeah.
No,
I'm
I'm saying
talking
Shakib. I'm not so much into football.
Okay.
I'm
great,
not.
great.
I'm not into football enough.
Same here.
Yeah.
So I only watch World Cup, and when
Yeah.
Brazil enters final, then I watch the game. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I don't watch.
Okay.
Okay. So what's your favorite movie? It can be anything: Bangla, English, Hindi, whatever it is.
I actually don't watch movies, but a movie that I remember that I found funny was Cool Runnings.
Okay.
You know it?
No.
It's like a
So-
Jamaican
Okay. So
group of
are
people.
you into comedy or
Yeah,
kind
comedy.
of
It has to be comedian.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
we have a
yeah,
similarity
yeah,
here
yeah.
because I will not take that bothering after a hard day of work. I sit in front of my
Yeah.
TV and watch a very sad story. So it doesn't make sense.
I think life itself is crazy enough. I
Exactly.
don't need to see that,
Absolutely,
simulated
absolutely.
in a
Absolutely.
movie.
So work from home or office hustle?
Clearly office.
Clearly office.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to join SELISE, so they have to do office regularly, right?
We are hybrid. So we are totally hybrid. We have 2 days. It depends. There is not one SELISE. So we are a group. So we have different business units and they have their own rules.
And
how
what
they,
about
how
the
they work.
programmers? They can work remotely?
Depends in which business unit you are.
Perfect.
If you are working in a product, if you're working for a client.
So you are flexible.
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
Pahela Boishakh or Bashant Utsav?
What's the second one? You have to give-
Bashant Utsav, that's the festival that happened with flowers and
the
everything.
flower fest, fruits and flower fest or something. No?
Kind of
Okay.
like that. You can
Yeah.
sing that.
Yeah, no, then I would say Pohela Boishak. I love the roads, paintings on the roads.
Yeah. You enjoy that?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally.
One tech trend you secretly think is overrated. Is it AI?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things in AI are completely overrated.
Absolutely.
I think AI by itself is not. It's here to stay. And it's changing a lot of things.
Do you believe that AI will not stay forever?
No, AI will stay forever.
Will stay forever.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. Okay. I mean, the way the
but
AI
not
things we
all
see.
the aspects.
But a lot of it, like for example, Google just dropped the new prompt engineering tutorial, Anthropic dropped the new prompt engineering white paper. You have to read it. Like these are, there's a lot of hype and you have to, but there's a lot happening within the noise as well. A lot of ridiculous things are on the market, are being said about it and are happening. And I mean, everybody's coding with Lovable and whatnot. And,
so what's your take on vibe coding?
So it's amazing for a stupid guy like me to, get things done.
Okay.
Specifically when I have like small problems and Python, for example,
Python
has
prototypes and everything.
Like all the buildings, like vibe coding with Python, because it will immediately find the right library to do a certain thing.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that. Like and you just, I need some quick file conversion. You need to pull something from an API or something like that. It knows which byte, text to speech, all of that, like streaming stuff. You can quickly do it, but you are going to hit a roadblock. We are trying to build an enterprise vibe coding framework with guardrails and with multiple AI systems, basically also checking your code. And this is not just for the vibe coder, it's also for a general coder, that a code, like when somebody is working on something that, immediately things get flagged if there are security flaws, if there are performance flaws, if code is redundant, things like that. So
health checking of
health checking. You could say. I mean, we say SAST, DAST.
Right.
And so within that, we try to build enterprise vibe coding so that I also, as a really rusty programmer, can set up things very quickly and they're enterprise grade and ready to scale.
Right.
So we are at that level. So yeah. So I think it definitely has its justification and its place, but a lot of bad things are done with vibe coding, obviously, and it's specifically bad for junior developers because they don't learn.
Okay. Now, one question that we ask in all podcasts: Apple or Android?
Android.
Why? Freedom,
openness. Okay. I believe in open standards, open sourcing, and you can capture and then therefore generate a higher degree of quality for a certain period of time. You can capture people within your world, but in the long run, you're not going to be successful if you do that. I mean, you might be successful for 20 years, right? But you're not going to be successful for 100 years.
Okay. So I have a question for you with that perspective, that why Apple is lagging behind AI? Because if you look carefully, you will see Microsoft has heavily invested on AI.
Google Microsoft pulled out recently.
Yeah.
Also, they totally pulled out of the data center investments.
Right, but we don't.
But they have the partnership with OpenAI, which also is questionable to some degrees. And you're actually right. Apple's AI
they're not
work
that
is
much
not
interested.
visible. They might come up with something.
Is that the point, or I looked it in a different angle? Because I I have worked with marketing, creativity for a long time, and Apple is a company which recognizes creativity a lot, originality a lot. So I think they're thinking in this way that everyone is moving towards AI. So everyone is faking things. The fake world, everyone is moving towards that fake world. And the more they're going out of originality, the originality product of Apple will valuate more. I mean, they can add more value to the original products, because people will definitely, sometimes they will get bored when AI products will come, and Apple will rule that time. Maybe they can think like that. Do you think that?
That's a very interesting way
because
to
they're
look at
originality focused company.
And I see that you are a marketeer, and you're much more of an expert in this than I am. But that's a very interesting way to look at it. It might be true, even true. You know, that they are finding their positioning
right
in this very interesting AI race that is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So I have a question to you. What do you think about the new glass morphism design of the iPhone?
It's nothing to do with AI.
Yeah, nothing to do with AI. But do you think
in this modern AI world, they're still focusing on that creativity?
Yeah.
They are focusing on the UI UX part of it.
But do you think it's the right thing to do? That
it might not be the right thing, because all your marketing campaigns will not be successful.
No, not the AI thing. That glass design.
No, I don't like it. I don't. It's a shit.
It's not good. Is
I'll
it?
not update it.
I mean, there are so many high debates about it. Like how
I don't like it.
Would Steve Jobs have done this?
Yeah.
Right?
No, never. I think they have lost that path.
Okay.
When I look into that glass morphism design, I think they lost the path. They lost the runway that Steve Jobs created, because they were running with that creation that he did, because he designed upfront for the next 10 years. And I think they have lost that runway. And now they are trying to innovate things and are coming out. But I think that's different thing. But I believe Apple is more into originality, and maybe they are trying to create their own niche, because everyone is moving towards AI. Who will take the responsibility of originality? If one day Apple comes with a huge marketing campaign that be original,
right,
it will rock.
Right.
Because at this stage of life, we always look for organic stuffs.
That's true.
You enjoy street foods in Dhaka.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's organic.
Correct.
You are not going into a very expensive West Indian hotel. You might not enjoy that, but if you go to street food, you enjoy it.
Correct.
So that's original.
Yeah.
So maybe Apple may think
You're
like that.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the market for original content and real experiences, human experiences,
even in software engineering,
is going to go crazy.
So it's a very interesting point to note, because you can play in a crowded place, or you can choose your niche and stick to it. Anyways, so last question, your favorite song. Do you listen to songs? Do you have time? Do you manage time?
I do listen to music.
Yeah.
I would think back a bit.
Okay, let's make it simple. Who is your favorite singer?
So I can give you that. Swollen Members, Deep End.
Okay, I haven't listened to it.
Who
is your favorite singer?
It's a rap song.
So you are into rap song?
Not per se,
Party
but
mode.
that's a kind of a rap song that's energetic and kind of like also about working at night, figuring things out, like being focused and all that. It's kind of like that.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
So
great.
But there are many others. I mean, I love music. I'm open to all kinds of music, and I always appreciate. And I don't have. There are these people who have like their genre and they're very crazy about it. I mean, there are songs I can appreciate a lot for a long time, but I think the world is so and original, right? Like you need to have original.
Right.
Music, and there are different streams and backgrounds. I mean, there's all these different ethnic type songs. Out of the classical Bengali music, for example, or classical Indian music. It's not classical Indian. There's a bit of an overlap. I went to Kustia.
Lalon.
A few months ago, went to Lalon's place. We had some very nice musical experience there. It was absolutely fantastic,
Soothing
super
experience.
soothing, amazing rhythm, melodies, and like no equipment, nothing fancy, right? Just there, like no alcohol, no nothing, just sitting there and enjoying, and it was absolutely phenomenal experience. So yeah. Very
amazing. So maybe you know Bangladesh more than us in some scenarios. I would say definitely there. I can find lots of my friends who have never visited Kustia and went to Lalon and went to enjoy Lalon song. So thank you, Julian. It was a great experience. And at last, do you have anything to say to the audience? Because you can say most of the people who will watch this episode will be beginner learners or people who are enthusiastic about tech industry or founders, to be founders. So do you have anything to say to them?
Well, I think maybe I can
Sure.
look into your favorite camera. Work hard, focus on your skills, build your skills in your early years. Don't think you're lost because you're in Bangladesh and you don't have opportunities. The industry here is huge and has a lot of potential. All you need actually is to have an internet connection and a laptop and a computer, and you can connect to the world and you can build great things. Learn from the internet, what's out there, what the global community is doing. Follow this intensively. Build a sense of perfection. That's absolutely crucial, and that will be your differentiator. And finish things. Don't stop early. Don't give up. Persevere. These are a few of the tips I would give to students.
Amazing. So thank you, Julian, for coming to this episode. And I would definitely say that এখন আমি বাংলায় বলবো। তো আমরা আজকের এপিসোড থেকে আপনারা অলরেডি অনেকগুলো পয়েন্ট আপনারা বুঝতে পারলেন, এবং সবচেয়ে ইন্টারেস্টিং ব্যাপার হচ্ছে আমি নিজে আজকে অনেক কিছু শিখলাম, এবং একসাথে আমি কিছু কিছু জায়গায় ইমোশনাল হতে বাধ্য হলাম। কারণ হচ্ছে জুলিয়ান যে ফেসটা দিয়ে গেছে, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম, আমরা অলমোস্ট সিমিলার এজের। সো আমিও আমার লাইফে হয়তো ওর মতো অতটা ফেস না করলেও আমিও লাইফে সিমিলার চ্যালেঞ্জেস ফেস করেছি, হয়তো কিছুটা কম স্কেলে। সো যারা বাংলাদেশে বসে ভাবছেন যে আপনি খুব অনেক বেশি সুযোগ পাচ্ছেন না, হ্যাঁ, বা আপনি সবসময় ফ্রাস্ট্রেটেড হবেন না, কারণ সুইজারল্যান্ডে প্রচুর ডেভেলপার্স আছে, দে আর ওয়েল কানেক্টেড। সেখান থেকে এসে বাংলাদেশে চলে এসে একজন সুইজারল্যান্ডের মানুষ বাংলাদেশে বসে এত বড় একটা কোম্পানি ফর্ম করেছে, এবং একই সাথে আমাদের ডেভেলপারদেরকে দিয়ে কাজ করাচ্ছে। সো ইটস টোটালি ইন্সপায়ারিং আমাদের জন্য। সেজন্যই আজকে এই পডকাস্টে আমি আসলে যখন আমাকে ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ ক্লাস থেকে বলা হলো যে ভাই আপনি হোস্ট করবেন, তখন আমি যখন দেখলাম এটা জুলিয়ান এবং সেলিস, তখন আমি আসলে লোভ সামলাতে পারলাম না। তো আশা করি আপনারাও আজকের এপিসোডটা এনজয় করেছেন, এবং ইন্টারঅ্যাক্টিভ কেয়ার্স যেই উদ্যোগটা নিয়েছে সেটাকে ডেফিনেটলি আমি অ্যাপ্রিসিয়েট করি, এবং জুলিয়ানকে থ্যাঙ্কস জানাবো আবারও। এবং ডেফিনেটলি আমরা যদি if we invite you again in another podcast in a more organized way, maybe you okay,
অবশ্যই।
And finally we'll end it with one single line, বাংলা লাইন that you want to say.
ঠিক আছে, অনেক ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে। এটা একদম সুন্দর একটা সেট আপ ছিল, আর বেশি পছন্দ করতাম আপনাদের প্রশ্নগুলি। জি, ভালো থাকবেন, আবার দেখা হবে।
অ্যামেজিং। সো আমরা পুরো পডকাস্টটা বাংলায় করলেই ভালো হতো, বিকজ হি সাউন্ডস রিয়েলি সুইট when he talks in Bangla. So absolutely pleasure meeting you, Julian, and we will definitely meet again.
My pleasure. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sumit bhai.